All right, so today we're going to be looking at questions 23 through 28. We're starting with a decimal, and we're going to finish as a fraction. So it's just write each as a fraction. So the first thing I'm going to do, I see 0.6. What I'm going to do, let me write my fraction, and let me write a 6 on the top, right? 0.6, I ignore the zeros at the very far left. So I'm just going to call this a 6. Now, at the bottom, I'm going to start with the 1 and some zeros. So first, let me put a 1 with some zeros. I mean, like at the bottom, I want to put a 10. I want to put 100, 1,000, right? I want to put a 1 with zeros. In this case, I'm going to put a 1 with 1 0. Now, the amount of zeros that I have at the bottom, right? The way I'm going to know whether I write 10, 100, or what number do I write, the amount of zeros is how many decimal places. I said before that a decimal place is how many numbers after the decimal point. So here I see one numbered after the decimal point. So I'm going to put 1 0 at the bottom. If I saw two numbers after the decimal point, then I will put 2 zeros. Okay. So 6/10. That's my fraction. However, we got to simplify if possible. Now, what I mean with simplifying is divide the top and the bottom, divide them by the same thing in order to make the number smaller. In this case, let me divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2 as well. I'm going to divide the top and bottom by the same number. In this case, I'm going to divide by 2. So that gives me 3/5. I simplify my fraction. Now I cannot simplify anymore. So that's it, 3/5. The way you're going to type this, you're going to go 3/5. So 3/5. All right, let's take a look at question number 24. So my fraction, I'm going to put a 7 on the top, and at the bottom, I'm going to put a 10. I only have 1 0 because I only have one decimal place. Remember, decimal places, again, is how many numbers after the decimal point. All right, so I have 7/10. Now this one, I cannot simplify anymore. Remember, in order for me to simplify, I will divide top and bottom by the same thing. I actually have no decimal, so there's nothing I can do. So 7/10 is my answer. The way you're going to type it, 7/10. All together, right? 7/10. All right, now let's take a look at number 25, because I said we're going to stop at number 28. Now this one, I'm going to write my fraction bar, and then on the top, I'm going to write 44. Again, I ignore the zeros on the far left. So I'm going to write 44/100. Now notice that now this time I put 2 zeros. And the reason why I put 2 zeros and not just one, because I had 2 decimal places, right? 2 numbers after the decimal point. And then simplify as much as you can. Now, 44 and 100, I see I can divide each by 4. I could also divide it by 2, but I'm going to choose 4. The biggest number I can divide it by, the better. So 44 divided by 4 is 11. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So 11/25. And then I ask myself, can I simplify even more? Nope. In this case, I cannot. So my answer would be 11/25. Let's take a look at number 26. To begin with, I'm going to write a 25 on the top. Now, when I ask, think about it. Do I write 10 at the bottom or do I write 100 at the bottom? So I know it's a 1 with some zeros, but my question is, at the bottom, do I write 10 or 100? Yeah, I'm going to write 100. 2 zeros because I have 2 decimal places. All right, now divide as much as you can. Let's say that I'm like, oh, I can divide each by 5. Probably you're thinking by something else. Okay, for right now, let me choose 5. Right, I could divide it by, there's another number I could divide it by. But I'm like, all right, let me choose 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 100 divided by 5 is 20. The reason why they want to simplify it in one step, some of you guys were probably saying, we can divide by 25 to begin with. Yes, that would have worked. But what I want to emphasize is ask yourself, after you simplify, ask yourself, can I simplify even more? Like in this case, 5 over 20. Can I simplify even more? In this case, I can. Let me divide each by 5. So my answer, I get 1 over 4. If I would have divided by 25 to begin with, I would have gotten to the 1 over 4 faster. Now, the idea here is now how fast you get is just make sure you simplify as much as you can. Right? Every time after you simplify, you need to ask yourself, can I simplify even more? All right, so 1 over 4, that's it. Now here, now these are going to be a little bit interesting because of the repeating decimal. Now this one, what it means is 0.060606060606 on and on and on, right? The little lines over 0.6, that means that 0.6 keeps on repeating. And I need to write this as a fraction. Okay, so let's just say that 1x, I know we don't like x as much, but I'm just going to say 1x is equal to 0.0606, and then let me just say that it keeps on repeating there. Now, one cool thing. Let me multiply this by 100. So I'm going to say 100x. I'm going to choose 2 zeros. Right? I could have multiplied this by 10. I could have multiplied by 100. I'm going to choose 2 zeros just because 2 zeros are the numbers that keep on repeating. Okay. If I had one number repeating, I would have multiplied by 10. But I'm going to choose 100. Now, what happens when we multiply by 100? Then we move the decimal 2 places to the right. So that give me 6.0606 on and on and on and on. Okay, think about it. 1x was 0.06. So 100x is 6 point. All I did is I moved my decimal 2 places to the right. You guys see that? Okay. Now I'm going to subtract 100x minus 1x. Doesn't that give me 99x? Now I'm going to say x is the fraction that I need, but right now I'm just calling it x. So that gives me, when I subtract this, that gives me 99x. Now the interesting part on the right side, notice how everything after the decimal point is the same thing. So can I say this with this cancel out? I'm going to say those two cancel out because it is the same thing. 0.6060606 on and on and on. All right, so let me cancel that out. And I'm just going to subtract 6 minus 0 is 6. So now I have 99x is equal to 6. Let me divide both sides by 99 to get the x by itself. So I get that x is equal to 6 over 99. Nice. I have it as a fraction now. I needed to finish this as a fraction. Now, make sure you simplify as much as you can. 6 and 99, I feel that I can divide each by 3. So that's going to give me 2 over 33. Nice. This infinite many repeating decimals, right? When it keeps on repeating over and over and over, this is how we're going to do this. Very interesting. Now, let's take a look at number 28. I'm going to say that 1x, and I'm even going to write the 1 in front of it. 1x is equal to 0.44444444. So I'm just going to have it at that. But then I'm going to say 10x is equal to 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, on and on. Now notice, before I continue, notice that on number 27th, I said 100x. And right now, number 28, I only said 10x, right? Some of you might be asking, why is it 100 in one question and 10 on the other? The reason why is because of number 27, two numbers kept on repeating. So I'm going to use two zeros, 100. Now, number 28, only one number keeps on repeating. So only 1 0. Okay. Now that I have this, let me subtract 10x minus 1x. I'm going to call that 9x. I'm going to say that everything after the decimal point cancels out. So I have 4 minus 0, which is 4. Now let me divide both sides by 9. So that gives me that x is equal to 4 over 9. Now that one I cannot simplify anymore. So that is my answer, 4 over 9.